to talk about striking for MMA and entering into grappling range and things like that. So I see a lot of people ask me or talk about like what should strikers do against grapplers and what should grapplers do against strikers. That's not really the best approach. You want to learn both. If someone asks you what's the best way to defend against a striker, learn striking. It's not as simple as when he hits you do that, because I promise you someone had thought of that. If you want to defend against a grappler, learn grappling. You don't have to go crazy with it, but if you're a really good striker, maybe a year or two of wrestling keeps you off your feet. Great. Maybe a year of Sambo or Jiu-Jitsu or some submission art, so you know what to do after you get them down. Same thing for good grapplers. Like a little bit of boxing is not going to kill you. And once you have the skill sets to put them together, you should realize that everything changes just a little in MMA. Just as some general principles, when you're striking in boxing or kickboxing, it's okay to close distance and put your weight on your front leg. If you're doing this in MMA, you come close to him and your weight's on the leg, he can grab it. And then you're going down. Just do like a Sambo takedown, shouldering. As an example. I'm going to presume you're a striker that doesn't know grappling. That's going to take you down every time. Even if you get like, let a grappler come here, you pick you up, dump you over his head. Don't do that. As strictly a striker, or even a lot of the time in MMA, if you want to stay on your feet, avoid moving forward. You want to bring him to you. Even if you're striking, you're always moving back. Keep the weight off your front leg. If for whatever reason, like if he's trying to grab me now, I'm gonna meet him. But if you do come forward and you put your weight on this leg, like let's say he's trying to hit me, I hit him and my weight is here, I know that I don't want to stay here in MMA if I want to be on my feet at all. So as soon as I get into his grappling range, I'll take a step back, get out, throw your uppercut, you can shift your stance back later, but staying on your feet, whatever you push off, get away. You throw your leg kick, get back. Avoid grappling ranges. The other thing about leg kicks, they're strong, do a lot of damage, but if you are doing like a full power tie kick, really leaning into his thigh, it's a bad idea for him to grab it on the way in. But he might grab it on the way back. If you really kick and he braces for the kick, then he grabs it. Just grab it. Oh, now it's going to be harder for you to get out of this. So, when you throw your leg kicks in MMA, aim lower. Either aim for his calf or lower on his knee. So for him to reach that is a really long distance. So like these kicks are more effective. They do a lot of damage also to the calf, especially if you angle off and just bang, it's still working. And if you have an opening, you open them up, then fine. Just be careful about working light and doing this kind of stuff. Alright, on that note, grapplers, typically the same techniques to get into the legs, but they become a lot harder when the striker is doing everything I just told you to do. So the normal takedowns and stuff, if he's always going back, most of the time aren't gonna work, and your face will be, especially a wrestling style takedown, and you're gonna be just shooting. Whoa, whoa. So you do need to be able to lock up the upper body after your strikes. Just, you know, if you're in striking range, he hits you, you slip. This is much better, or you have access to his legs to be comfortable in striking range with your hands up, protecting yourself. Even if you just do this to get close to him, you have no idea how to strike. You're just like, that's still better than going for a wrestling shot and leaving your face open. Now, the way we do it at the Hudson Combat Academy is, it's called a side clinch. This is a standard clinch in Muay Thai. Great clinch, lots of power. You have to really work it to be able to use it effectively. This method you can use with a little bit of drills, and it's pretty good. So from here, you can strike to set this up, or you can just go. I prefer to strike just to get his attention. Your right hand is gonna go in just like a cross would to his face. It's gonna go over his arm, like this. Then you're gonna turn your palm that way, away from him, and swim it in like a fish. This hand stays up. You're gonna grab the back of his trap with your shoulder on his shoulder, and your hand is gonna punch him in the side of the neck, away. Thumb on his neck, fingers closed around the back of his neck. And if you watch the feet, you're gonna step back with your leg that's now in the front while pushing to here, and you can throw your knee. But this is the clinch. If Tyler tries to get out of this, I have more than enough time to feed him a couple of knees. A couple of things to be aware of when you do this. Make sure your thumb is here. If your thumb is not here, right, he can turn into you. Once he turns into you, like if you're just here trying to pull him down, you're just pulling him into your leg. And I hope you're good at guillotines or darces or something. But in any case, if you're the striker, he's the better grappler, don't let him turn into you, be sloppy with it, and you're just asking him to start wrestling you, and you don't want that. So from this angle, you get a few punches, body, head, whatever, swim, throw your knee. When you start doing this a little more fight speed, make sure you step outside his leg. So if you step inside his leg, and then you start trying to turn, this is not good. Step outside his leg, then here, stay on your toes, so you can spring, throw your knee right away. Spring, boom, boom. Okay? It's not flop, hit, it's bang. Okay? One more time. These strikes, swim, boom. Side clinch. Give it a shot.